Magriet is going to take us through the whole idea of theme dynamics and theme pairs. This is one of the most powerful areas I think strength-based coaches can really explore with individuals and partnerships and so forth. And she's going to show the new theme dynamic app from Gallup and take us through a little bit of a process to understand pairing and strengths. In actual fact, I'm probably not going to say anything more because you probably all know Magriet better than you know me. So on that happy note, Magriet, if you just take it.
Right, everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. As I'm seeing a lot of new faces today, and it's people that we've been talking with the last month, the last 3 months during the period of lockdown. So welcome, and it's an absolute pleasure for me to share something that I'm very excited about, and that's called theme dynamics. While I get my PowerPoint presentation right, please, if you can share with us in the chat room what was one thing that you've learned so far in this coaches workshop. Everyone, you should be seeing a screen where you see the different domains. Richard also spoke about the domains earlier in our workshop today. Now, as some of you might know, the Clifton Strengths have 34 different talent themes. We also call them strengths, and each of these talent themes or strengths has a certain properties. So each one has a certain way in which it reacts in different environments. It's got a certain way in which it reacts, to people and in different circumstances as well. But it's quite interesting that when you take each of these properties or strengths, you cannot look at it in terms of this is how this person is, and that's the only way that they is, because it's just a small piece of the puzzle. When someone do their top 5 Clifton Strengths assessment, it gives us the puzzle pieces, which together shows us a very unique picture of who that person is. Gallup says that the chances that anyone else has the same top 5 as you in the same order is 1 out of 33 million. So it provides a very unique picture. And I think this is where theme dynamics make it even more unique. So the way that we think about theme dynamics is through the periodic table. So when you think back to your school days, to chemistry class, then you would remember that there's different elements on the periodic table, and each element has their own properties. But when you put 2 elements together, and when it combines, it brings a very powerful result. And that is exactly what theme pairing or theme dynamics do. When you compare, as we see on the screen, when you compare activator with maximizer, not compare, when you pair, when there's a theme dynamic, when you pair that, it brings a statement and a result that can just open up a new conversation for someone that you are coaching. Why is theme dynamics important? It can help individuals move from being to doing. What's your talent theme? It's individualization. When we put maximizer together, what does that look like? And it can help you to create additional action steps for your client that can just create openings and new perspectives, new ways of doing that. For partnerships, it can, when you use the different strengths themes or talent themes and you start a conversation on how to pair them, like Mlamli said earlier, it just brings the focus to we are better together. If we work together, if we pair our themes, we can do so much better. So in last week, I had a great conversation with a wonderful lady, and she has the themes of activator and strategic. And when we started off, she said to me, Magriet, you know what? I've got my top 5, 4 of these themes I'm very happy with. This is me, very excited about that. But I just do not see activator. And we unpacked each of her 4 themes and got to activator. And she said, maybe I've got a bit of a blind spot here. And then I did a theme pairing for her. And as we looked at how the two work together, and I asked her to look back over her life, how that actually played out in her work and in her life, it became such a powerful moment that we had to just, pause and just take that in. And when we paired activator and strategic, we saw the result was that your urge to take action as soon as possible is complemented by your urge to consider all possible courses of action. And when she saw this, her life just unfolded, and the different actions and aspects and nuances just unfolded for her, and it made for such a powerful conversation from that point forward. And I think this is really the power of theme dynamics. It takes away the conversation from just, these are my top 5 strengths. It's I'm this, and this. No, that's a very small picture. But when you bring it all together, it just makes for a very, very powerful result. Okay. Now I'm going to challenge you. As you know, as I said before, there's 34 different themes, strengths. So when you look at the statement on the screen, it says you get things done. Sometimes because it feels so good, and sometimes because you promised someone you would. What do you think the 2 strength themes are, or talent themes are, that are paired here? And I'm going to put you into breakout rooms again. So just maybe take a snapshot. You get things done sometimes because it feels so good, and sometimes because you promised someone you would. I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. Take 5 minutes to discuss that. Which 2 talent themes or strengths do you think these are? And then we're going to come back and discuss. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. That made for quite interesting guesses and conversation. Who would like to give some feedback? Just take yourself off mute and tell us what happened in your room.
We've got 4 people who are quite familiar with strengths. So we went with achiever and responsibility. And in fact, 2 out of the 4 have both of those in their top 5.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was quite an interesting combination. But we also explored the possibility that activator could be the first part as well. And that sometimes relator could be the second part, because relator is about trust. And if you say you will do it, what you said you would do when you said you would do it, that's about trust. So we explored it a little bit further than just the obvious. But it was a great discussion.
Oh, fantastic. Now, Beef, you're absolutely right. I think there's so many nuances that comes to play, when we start to talk about theme dynamics. Now, it's interesting, and people always ask me, Magriet, if you ask me to pair responsibility and achiever, what would you come up with? And people start thinking through and coming up with different conversations. So there's basically, two sides on how you can approach theme dynamics. It's in a conversation, asking questions, putting it together, or coming up with a statement, and then start wondering, which of the themes can work, or is this, or are these who can work together. Now, Gallup. Gallup gives us so many things, but one of the things that I feel is a hit for me, and that I really use, I think, very effectively with online coaching or virtual coaching, is the Theme Dynamics app. And I'm just going to share my screen, and then you'll see on the screen coming up, how the two, achiever and responsibility, came together and just show or provided this wonderful statement for us. And when you go down, or you scroll down, you see then your Theme Insight card information that you can have on the theme. The Theme Dynamics app as well. When you learn. Okay. When you learn more about expanding your strengths and how to dive deeper into the talent themes, you can. This app is really, really useful. When you want to look at the ins and outs of, say, for instance, achiever. So you've got on this theme insight card, which is in digital format. You can see, with achiever, I'm being a hard worker. I set the pace for production. I bring intensity and stamina of effort. And as you read through this, you can already see or start guessing that achiever was in fact part of that dynamic. Again, when we look at achiever and responsibility. And in the same way, we can start playing around, Bev, when you said activator and responsibility, the following would come up. You often make a commitment before anyone asks for it, and you strive to honor those commitments as quickly as possible. And in this way, when you start pairing it through using the app, it just comes up with wonderful statements that people can take, and they can actually make those statements part of their lives, and just put it up as a screensaver. Right, I'm just going to stop the share here, and so there's a couple of ways that you can look at theme. Theme dynamics and so forth. These people who in this group are Gallup certified strengths coaches that can help you to pair your strengths, your top 5 strengths, and really dive deeply into that and help you with that. If you would like to know how to become Theme Dynamics intelligent, what we call it, you can join us and become a Gallup certified strengths coach through the Gallup Global certification. And for those that are already coaches, you can look at the Theme Dynamics app that's available to you as well.